Let's screen in my parents' new back porch. So this is a bit of a tricky project because this porch is not level whatsoever. You can see that the posts were actually put just on top of pavers, which obviously does not give much support at all, so they were sinking. That was the first thing I did on this porch, was pour some concrete supports to actually support the roof, but it still doesn't change the fact that all of these pavers are kind of at different levels, so this is not a level porch to screen in, which makes it really difficult, and I was not able to find any tutorials online as to how to do that. So we're gonna figure that out together. So to get started, I'm putting base plates everywhere, and that just means it's a piece of wood that lays on the ground that will be where the bottom of the screen attaches to later. For these base plates, I'm using a pressure treated pine because it's rated for ground contact, meaning that it can be in contact with lots of pooling water if it rains a lot. Everywhere else I'm using cedar because that's what's used all around this back porch and I want it to match, but cedar is not rated for ground contact with water. So I'm having to do a little bit of a mix and match. And I'm also adding in 2 doors on opposite sides of the back porch, and I wanted to center it on this one walkway. So I had to get these measurements first, and then I mirrored them on the other side so that I could make those base plates. So I just went around getting everything cut with my jigsaw and dry fitting it in place. And one of the nice things about a long piece of softwood like this is that it has a lot of flex to it, so it can actually bend and flex to a lot of the dips and valleys that are happening out here with the different levels, which is very helpful. So once I screw this in, it will flex to all of the rises and falls. Once I got everything dry fitted in place, then I stained it all. And the reason I'm doing this ahead of time is because I don't want to get stain all over the ground, but I also want this to more closely match a lot of the cedar that I'm going to put out here, because otherwise this pressure treated pine is going to stick out like a sore thumb because it always has kind of a blue-green cast to it, and I want to make it look as orangey and cedar as possible. Once I got everything stained, it was time to install. And I used a hammer drill and it went right through the wood into the concrete, which I saw someone on YouTube do, and it did not work very well for me at all. The bit got stuck in the wood and was really difficult to pull out. I do not recommend doing this method. And then a few holes later, the bit actually just snapped off right in that wood, and I had to order a new bit, which wouldn't arrive until the next day. But in the meantime, I was able to install more of these horizontal supports, and the purpose of adding these is because the screen that I bought is only 48 inches wide. So I need to break up this back porch into maximum, I'd say 42-inch wide sections so that I have some wiggle room on each side of the screen to work with. And a pro tip, if you are a solo DIYer like myself, use a scrap piece of wood on one side as your second set of hands so that you can hold up one piece of that long wood while you attach it on the other side. This was a lifesaver for me. Honestly, I don't know what I would have done without that hack because I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. I mirrored the same thing on the other side, and then I also had to add in a second support because again, this is just so tall. And later on, I actually added in a third support even because again, I just needed to break this up into less than 48-inch wide pieces so that my screen will fit. The second day my new drill bit arrived, everything was going great. I got everything nice and screwed in with some Tapcon screws out here. Then I moved on to doing this part with the concrete, and oh, that bit just snapped right off again. Love that for me. So then I had to order more bits. This time I ordered 12 bits because I was not going to take any chances. But again, had to wait for those to arrive. So in the meantime, I attached these vertical pieces. These are going to be the tops of my door frames, but also provide another section for the screens. And a tip for you, if you're also framing out your porch for screens and you're using pocket hole construction like I am, try to put the pocket holes on a side that won't be visible. So you can see out here that I put the pocket holes on the top of the wood where no one will be able to see them. The next day, my 12 new bits arrived, and thankfully these were just better bits, I think, and also longer, so they weren't as likely to overheat and get stuck in the ground. And I actually only needed 1 bit to get all the way around the porch. So I don't know what was going on, but I do recommend these bits. I was finally able to frame out my doors as well. I just used a mallet to get it nice and level, and then I used pocket holes to secure it to the top of the frame. Got the other side of my door figured out, and this is my first time ever framing out a door, and honestly, I don't think it turned out perfectly, but I think it turned out pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the door definitely needs to work and swing open and fit in this door frame, but I don't think it needs to be the prettiest door that I've ever created, especially for my first door ever. The wood was able to flex to most of the ground going up and down all the way around, but there was one big drop off here between the pavers and the cement. So I cut a piece of scrap wood to size, added some wood glue, popped it under this little ledge, and I think for the rest of that gap, I'm going to maybe use some spray foam insulation or something like that, but if you have other ideas, please let me know. I added added in some more vertical supports, again using a scrap piece of wood as my second set of hands. Highly, highly recommend this. I don't think I would have been able to do this without that. I also used my ladder as a third set of hands, which was extra helpful while I climbed up and got everything in place. And this is when it started to look really good out here. I was very excited. I added in these middle supports as well. So on the sides here, I had to lay the 2x4s flat so that I could have a longer width for the door frame, but I wanted them to still have the same visual height as the wood that wraps around the front of the porch. So I added on an extra piece just using some wood glue and brad nails to get it to the same rough height so it just looks more visually appealing. Then I went around and added in some bottom supports, and then it was finally time to get to the fun part, which is the decorative bits. So this is a 1915 Craftsman home, and my mom requested that this back porch design have a Craftsman look to it. So this is my attempt at making a Craftsman style porch on very uneven ground. So what I did is I took the dimensions that we had out here and I kind of drew up a few different designs, and I finally came across something that I felt looked pretty Craftsman. And to create this design, I used a lot of what I call spacer blocks, which are just pieces of scrap wood that I cut to size and used to make sure that I was using consistent spacing all the way around the porch. So first I attached a long horizontal piece, then a middle vertical piece, then a couple more horizontal pieces in the middle. And then for the second row of rectangles, I broke them up into squares by adding in some extra pieces. Here from the back, you can see a bit better how I constructed these. It's just a bunch of pocket holes. Again, I have these facing toward the outside, which is where the screen will be, so that I'll cover a lot of these holes and make them less obvious. And I'm keeping the nice clean side of the wood toward the inside, which will be visible to everyone who's hanging out on the porch. And then for these final vertical pieces, I don't really need to screw them in. I just need to add some wood glue and pop them into place. And then I used my level to make sure they turned out nice and straight while the glue dried. Now each of these sections pretty much took 30 minutes to get completely right, so you can just imagine how long this entire porch took to panel. It was a while. This whole process kind of reminded me of paneling my stairs. It was a lot of the same kind of crazy math and designs, but I think it looks really good in the end. I finally added in some top vertical pieces to add some support to those long horizontal supports, and then before I could continue the design around to this side, I had to move up this electrical box, so this was just a little bit tricky. I had to switch off all of the power, move this box up a little bit just to make some room for the design. Unfortunately, I was able to tuck the excess cable up into the rafters, so I think it still looks pretty good in the end. Did you think we were done yet? Nope, not at all. If you're going to screen in a porch, you really have to cover up all of the possible entry points for bugs, and for this porch, that also means these front exposed rafters. If I were to just screen this in and leave all of this exposed, it just means that there are these big giant openings for bugs to get in all the time. So I have to completely close in the front of this overhang, and to do this, I just used some inexpensive cedar fence pickets. I cut off the beveled edge on the ends, and then I just shot them in place with my brad nailer. It ended up taking 2 rows of these fence pickets to get this completely covered, and then once I had everything in place, I covered up all of the seams. So I started by covering up the short seams between the ends of the boards, and then I cut some scrap to cover up the long seams between the 2 boards themselves. And for kind of winging this and coming up with this design with cheaper materials, I was pretty happy with how this turned out. I think this especially is going to look really nice once I stain it to match the rest of the cedar out here. And then the final step for framing everything out was to build the doors themselves. Not showing this here, but I did use my table saw to take off the rounded edges on the sides of these 2x4s so that they'll meet really perfectly in flush as I build this door. General construction for this, I didn't want to use pocket holes because they would have been more visible, so I just used wood glue instead and clamps, and then I also used these L brackets in the corners to provide extra support. Now, if this was all I was doing to this door, I think it would end up being pretty flimsy. It would probably warp over time, if not immediately, but thankfully I'm also adding in all of that decorative detail, which is going to provide a lot more support and structure to the frame. Got my door up, dry fit it into the frame, and then I started attaching my hinges. And I'm using hinges that don't require mortising, which means that you don't have to use your router or a chisel to break into the door to make a recess for the hinge to fit into. So I attached my hinges to the door, attached it to the door frame. Here's a closer look at what those non-mortise hinges look like. You can see how the hinge kind of puzzle pieces together to have that really low profile without the mortise. And it fit pretty well in the door, except there were just some different levels on the concrete itself, so I ended up having to remove a bit of one side of the door. Thankfully, I was just able to knock it out of place. I used my jigsaw to cut off a piece on the bottom, reattach the bottom, and then the swing worked. I did the same thing on the other side. I attached the hinges, I attached the door to the frame, and thankfully this time the swing worked perfectly without adjustment. Again, for my first time making doors on very uneven ground, they're not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with this. The final step was to carry the design onto the doors themselves themselves and onto this final little section. So to do that, I used a scrap piece of wood to make sure that the line stayed perfectly across onto the door. I attached the horizontal piece, and then I got all of my design pieces in place. Here is a reminder of what this porch looks like before, and here is what it looks like now. Nice and framed out and ready for screen. Hopefully I've broken it up into enough sections where I can attach the screen without it sagging. That's going to be the real question mark here, but I am super happy with how this design turned out. I do feel like it looks pretty Craftsman, and you'll notice I didn't take the design all the way down to the ground because I didn't want it to draw even more attention to how wonky the ground is, and I think it does a pretty good job of trying to disguise that. I'm also really proud of how the design carries almost perfectly onto the door without a break. I'm really happy with that detail. So now that all of the framing is done out here, I'm going to stain all of this cedar to get it nice and protected, and then we're going to screen this in.